Hi guys and welcome to Crazy Pepper Revenge. This channel is all about crazy true stories, stuff that happens in real life when things get a little bit messy, people dealing with drama, cheating, lies, breakups, and even revenge. Some stories are wild, some are emotional, but all of them will keep you watching. If you like real talk and real situations, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stick around. This is Crazy Pepper Revenge, where the stories get spicy.
You left me with ashes.
Last weekend, I was supposed to be on an overnight trip with the boys to watch the game 2 states over. Been planning it for months. But Daryl's kid got sick last minute, so we had to cancel. NBD, crap happens. I figured I'd surprise Heather, my wife of 8 years, by coming home early. As I pulled into our driveway around 9 p.m., I noticed several cars parked outside. Recognized Michelle's Subaru and Kathleen's Honda right away. Heather had mentioned having the girls over while I was gone, so this checked out. I was about to walk in the front door when I heard them all on our back deck through the side gate. They were being loud, drunk loud. I was going to head around back to say hi when I heard my name, so I paused. Call it instinct, whatever. Griffin is just so... I can't even... Heather was slurring her words slightly. The girls all giggled. OMG, I still can't believe you've kept this going so long, Michelle's voice. Then Heather practically shouted it. He's too stupid to realize I've been cheating for years. They all roared with laughter. I literally froze mid-step. Like my brain just stopped working for a sec. Sutton's been the best decision I ever made, Heather continued. Last week, while Griffin was working late, Sutton came over and we did it right on the couch where Griffin takes his precious naps. More cackling laughter. Not the sacred nap couch, Kathleen shrieked like this was the funniest thing ever. You should have seen how sweet Griffin was the next day, making me breakfast. If he only knew what his precious wife had been doing the night before. My stomach dropped to my feet. I felt like I'd been punched. That breakfast I'd made, her favorite avocado toast and those fancy eggs she likes, brought her coffee in bed, told her I loved her. I don't know how long I stood there listening to them swap stories. My whole body was shaking. I learned that my business trips were her favorite times to have Sutton over, that they'd been sleeping together for over 3 damn years. That she'd even been with him the weekend of my dad's funeral when she claimed she had food poisoning and couldn't attend. I didn't confront them, didn't make a scene. Just silently walked back to my car, drove to a nearby Target parking lot, and sat there until I could breathe again. I must have looked insane, a grown man hyperventilating in his car at 10 p.m. on a Saturday. Once I could think straightish, I called Daryl. Thank God his kid was feeling better and he picked up. Dude, my whole life just imploded. I told him everything. Don't go home tonight, he said. Come crash here. We'll figure this out. At Daryl's place, I paced the living room for hours while he Googled divorce lawyers. My mind kept replaying all these moments from the past few years that suddenly made sense. The girl's trips where she came back with barely any photos. How she'd started keeping her phone face down. The unexplained charges at hotels less than 30 miles from our house. All those nights she was showing houses to clients after normal business hours. I felt like the biggest fool on the planet. Around 3 a.m., I got a text from Heather. Girls are crashed here. Hope you're having fun with the boys. Love you. I nearly threw my phone against the wall. The audacity. You need to be smart about this, Daryl said, taking my phone. Don't tip her off. Not yet. The next morning, I pretended everything was normal. Told her I'd crashed at Daryl's after drinking too much. She bought it completely. Even had the nerve to complain about having to clean up after the girls while nursing her hangover. Over the next week, I went into reconnaissance mode. When she was in the shower, I checked her phone. Thousands of texts with Sutton going back years, hotel receipts, explicit photos. I took screenshots of everything and emailed them to myself. I checked our finances. Hundreds of unexplained charges at restaurants I'd never been to, lingerie I'd never seen. She'd even used our joint account to book a weekend getaway while I was at my dad's funeral. Each discovery was like another knife in my chest. 8 years of marriage. All the times I defended her to my family when they said she seemed self-centered. All my plans and dreams for our future, talks about starting a family next year. All bull crap. I met with a divorce attorney on my lunch break, the most aggressive one in town, according to Google reviews. She laid it all out for me. Document everything. Secure my finances. Prepare for the storm. Griffin, I see this every day, she told me. You're doing the right thing by not confronting her yet. The more prepared we are, the better position you'll be in. That night, as I watched Heather laughing at something on her phone, probably texting him, something inside me changed. The pain was still there, but suddenly it was like ice water in my veins instead of fire. I realized I didn't just want out of this marriage. I wanted justice. See, Heather built her whole identity around being respected and admired. Her social status, her reputation, her image as this perfect wife with the perfect life that she carefully curated on Instagram. She prided herself on being the one everyone came to for advice, the moral compass of her friend group. And now I had proof that it was all a lie. I started making moves. Transferred half our savings to a new account in just my name, password-protected important documents, made a detailed list of all our assets, photographed everything valuable in the house, all stuff my lawyer recommended. Meanwhile, I pretended everything was fine. Kissed her goodbye in the mornings, asked about her day, watched Netflix beside her while she texted Sutton right next to me. Each day, I played the role of oblivious husband while methodically preparing to blow up her entire world. 2 weeks in, I was ready. I had everything documented: financial statements, evidence of the affair, a new apartment lease signed and paid for, support from my family who were horrified by what she'd done. The hardest part was keeping my cool. When she'd look me in the eyes and lie, when she'd say, "I love you" before bed, when she suggested we start trying for that baby next month. Each time I wanted to scream in her face, but I stayed calm because I knew something she didn't. The woman who laughed about how stupid I was had no idea I was about to become the most methodical, unforgiving force she'd ever face. And I was going to do it all completely by the book. I picked D-Day strategically, the day of Heather's big client appreciation event that she'd been planning for months. That morning, I acted completely normal, made coffee, kissed her goodbye, told her good luck with her event. She left looking confident as hell in her expensive outfit that I now realized I'd basically paid for her to look good for other men. At exactly 10 a.m., I sent the evidence package to Sutton's wife via courier. Included my phone number if she wanted to talk. By noon, all hell broke loose. I was at my new apartment when the texts started flooding in. "Why is Sutton's wife calling me? Did you talk to her? Answer your damn phone." I didn't respond. Just watched the messages pile up. Then Laura, Sutton's wife, called me. We talked for almost an hour. She was devastated but grateful. Apparently, Sutton had been gaslighting her for years about her paranoia. She told me Sutton was now frantically trying to save his marriage, which meant throwing Heather completely under the bus. By 2 p.m., Heather's client event was in shambles. She had to leave early because of the emergency. She kept calling me nonstop. At 3 p.m., I sent a brief, factual email to her parents. No emotional language, just the timeline and key evidence. I've always respected them, and they deserve to know who their daughter really is. By 6 p.m., I was sitting calmly in our living room when Heather finally came home. Her mascara was everywhere, and she looked like she'd aged 10 years in one day. She started with anger. "How dare I tell Laura? How could I betray her like this?" Then quickly moved to bargaining when she realized I wasn't reacting. She tried everything. Tears, screaming, seduction, more tears. I just sat there, calm as a freaking cucumber, and said, "We both know exactly what's going on." Then I handed her the divorce papers my lawyer had prepared. The color drained from her face when she realized this wasn't a spontaneous reaction, that I'd been planning this for weeks while sleeping next to her every night. That's when she noticed some of my things were missing. I told her I'd be staying elsewhere and that she had 3 days to figure out her living situation before I informed our landlord about the breach of our lease agreement. We had a morality clause, another thing my lawyer found useful. The next few days were interesting. She swung between threatening me, "You'll never get away with this," begging, "We can fix this, it was just physical, I've always loved only you," and trying to play the sufferer. "I was lonely, you work too much." Meanwhile, her social circle was imploding. Michelle and Kathleen ghosted her once they realized their role in this might become public. Her parents called and had what her mom described as a very disappointing conversation. And Sutton, that coward, was in full damage control with his wife, telling her Heather was obsessed with him and wouldn't leave him alone. The financial reality hit her hard When she realized half our savings was legally moved to my account, her access to our joint credit cards was gone, and she couldn't afford the rent on her own. Her event disaster meant she'd probably lose clients. Yesterday was the final nail. She found out from mutual friends that everyone knows what she did. Not because I went around telling people directly, but because Sutton's wife apparently told her friends who told their friends, and so on. The social circle she'd carefully built around her perfect image was collapsing. She showed up at my new apartment last night, somehow got my address, probably from her friend who works at the leasing office. She was sobbing on my doorstep, makeup running, looking completely broken. For a split second, I almost felt bad for her. Almost. I let her in because my neighbors were starting to notice, and I'm not about creating scenes. She immediately launched into how she'd made a terrible mistake, how she'd do anything to fix it, how she couldn't believe she'd risked our marriage for someone like Sutton. I just looked at her and said, "Remember when you told your friends I was too stupid to realize you were cheating? Well, surprise." The look on her face when she realized I'd heard everything that night, I can't even describe it. Pure shock, then horror, then shame. She started to say something about how she didn't mean it. She was drunk. It was just talk. Blah, blah, blah. I cut her off and told her to sit down because I had something to show her. When Heather showed up crying at my door, she got a surprise she never expected. A complete breakdown of her new financial reality. I had spreadsheets, projections, and a detailed accounting of exactly how fucked she was going to be after this divorce. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. Surprisingly smooth process thanks to my lawyer. During mediation, Heather tried to argue she deserved half of everything because one mistake shouldn't erase 8 years of marriage. The mediator just stared at her and asked if 3 years of documented infidelity counted as one mistake. I kept my retirement accounts and most assets. She got enough to start over, but nowhere near her old lifestyle. Had to move in with her parents at 32, from our luxury apartment to a guest room with floral wallpaper and a twin bed from high school. Her social media facade crumbled, lost her job from missing work and showing up late, while I slowly rebuilt my life. Started therapy, joined activities, began dating someone new recently. Last week, I bumped into Heather at Home Depot. She looked different. Shorter hair, less flashy clothes. She gave me a genuine apology with no manipulation, said she was moving to Chicago for a fresh start. The weirdest part? I felt nothing. Not anger, not pain, not satisfaction, just nothing. As she walked away, she turned back. "I know it doesn't matter now, but I really did love you. I just didn't know how to love anyone properly, including myself. I'm good now, new place, good work, good friends." The woman who laughed about me being too stupid to see her betrayal learned that actions have consequences. Reputations take years to build, but moments to destroy, and some things can never be repaired. I learned I'm stronger than I knew. Starting over isn't giving up. And the best revenge isn't destroying someone's life. It's rebuilding your own better than before.